Hey guys, in this video it's going to be a contour and highlight with the new palette from NYX. This is the Highlight and Contour Pro palette, which came out not too long ago. This is part of their spring collection, but a lot of you guys have requested for me to do a review and demo on this palette. So I am going to do that today for you. So let's just get into it. This palette comes in a plastic case, nothing fancy, but it's pretty sturdy. I'm not really worried about it breaking at all. So when you open this palette, you'll see the 8 pans that are in here. What's really nice about this palette is that each pan can be taken out and be refilled. I'm not sure if the refillable pans are available now, but I know they will be in the future if they're not out already. So I'm kind of glad, like, when you run out of a certain color, you don't have to buy the whole entire palette again. You can just buy the refillables. And I'm not sure how much each pan will be, but once I find out, I'll put that information down below. But this palette has the 4 highlight pans and then the 4 contour pans. Some have a shimmery finish and some have more of a matte finish. The ones that have more of a kind of satin shimmery finish would be this one right here and this one on the end. And I believe this one right here also has a little shimmer finish to it. I haven't used this color yet, but I will in this video. I'll let you know if the shimmer actually shows up or if you can just use it kind of as like a matte bronzer or contour powder. So these colors right here are probably the lightest highlighters in the palette. I believe that these will be great for anyone who has a fair to maybe medium skin tone range. These would be great colors for you, so I would use this one as a highlight and this one maybe as a matte highlight underneath the eyes, and then this would be great on the cheekbone. These two are probably the ones I will be using the most. This one is amazing for underneath the eye area if you're probably medium to tan skin tone or similar to my skin tone. And then this is just kind of a warm, neutral-ish highlighter, which is beautiful on the cheekbones. I'll probably be using this one in the video. There are 2 pans down here. They're definitely more on the warm side, so I don't know if I would use this as a contour color because you don't want to use something that's too warm. It'll just look too red. So I would probably use these as bronzers or around my temples or the outside of my face just to warm my skin tone up. So I'll probably use these as bronzers. This one is awesome though for contouring in the hollows of your cheeks, just because it's more of like a cooler taupey color. I like using cooler tones in the hollows of my cheeks kind of to create a shadow. If you use something too warm, it just looks kind of off. So I do like something with more of a cooler taupey tone for the hollows of my cheeks, so I do really like this color. And then this is the darkest one in the palette. This is great for like a really intense contour on your face. Probably if you're more in the dark, deeper skin tone, this would be perfect for you. It's just a really nice warm color, which you can use anywhere when you want to create like shadows or shading or contouring on your face. So what's nice about the packaging that comes with this palette, on the back there is a face chart and it shows you exactly where you can highlight and contour. And I think for beginners, I think this is great, so you know kind of the placement or areas on the face where you can really shape and define certain areas, so I think this is great. And then another thing that I just noticed, that there are no names of these pans, which is kind of a downer because I do like sharing what exact colors I'm using, especially when I'm doing videos, so you can kind of follow along and know exactly what shade I'm using. So there are no names for these pans, so that's kind of a downer, but I'm sure you guys will be able to get it and follow along. Alright, so I'm going to get into the tutorial and demo now so you can kind of see how I would use this palette. I played with a few colors, but there are some colors I'm using in this video that I have not used before, so you'll kind of see what I think about the colors that I chose for this tutorial. So anyway, it's a Saturday for me, and today I just figured I would just film this look for you, so excuse the flat hair and then the laid back baseball tee, but I figured we were just focusing on the face, so it doesn't really matter what else is going on with my look today. So I just started off with foundation. I already have just like my basic eyeshadow on. The foundation that I am using in this video, or have already put on, is my Complexion Rescue Foundation in number 8, which is Spice from bareMinerals. And I also have been mixing it with the NYX Invincible Fullest Coverage Foundation, and this is in color medium beige number 7. So when I'm filming or I like more of a fuller coverage, I like to mix the two. It's not normally what I wear on an everyday basis, but for this video we're gonna go for a fuller coverage. So that's what I'm starting off with. Next, I'm gonna be using a concealer. And the one I'm going to use is the Naked Skin by Urban Decay. It's a weightless complete coverage concealer. I have been loving this lately. So I'm going to start off like I normally would with my routine and conceal underneath my eye area, and then after that I usually set it. So I'm going to work with this one first. So as you saw in the video, I like to do more of a triangle shape where I put my concealer, and now I'm just going to take a beauty blender and I want it to be damp. So I'm going to use this Buxom Set and Refresh Gel Face Mist. So I'm just going to spray that, and by spraying it just makes the cream products blend really nicely. So what I'm just going to do is pat this concealer out underneath my eyes, and then as you can see, it really brightens in this area, which is what I really like, to get rid of those dark circles. No one likes that. So I'm going to continue to do this on the other side, and then we'll move on from there. So now that I have concealed on my face and everything is kind of done, we're going to go back and highlight and contour. So I like to highlight first, and then I contour and bronze my skin up after. So like I said earlier, with under my eye area, I like to use more of a yellow tone just to set this concealer. I'm going to use this color right here, which is kind of like a banana yellow shade. I'm just going to apply it with my Sedona Lace 217 brush. So I'm just going to load up my brush, and then I'm just literally going to pat underneath my eye area just to set that cream product that I just used. So looking at this setting powder, I mean, it sets really nicely. I feel like it's not like bundling up in like wrinkles. I mean, I don't really have any wrinkles yet, but I do have a little line just under the eye area, which is probably natural, and a lot of people have that. It's nothing extreme or like a wrinkle, but it is settling really nicely under the eye area. It doesn't look too heavy. It is going to be more of a fuller coverage look, I guess, if that makes sense, but it doesn't look like a cake face, I guess, if that was the term that you would normally use. I think it's laying really nicely. So I'm going to show you other areas where I normally highlight using that yellow powder. So I'm going to use that same brush and that yellow powder, and I'm literally just going to set this right in the middle of my forehead. So normally I would highlight in this area underneath my eyes. You can also use this down your nose just to make that area stand out. And then also, I do it on my chin. And then later I'm going to put some on the top of my Cupid's bow. I'll wipe this lip gloss off so I can actually do that, but that is normally where I highlight. So more in the center of my face, the outside of my face is where I'm going to contour. Now I'm going to start to use like a warm tone just to kind of give me a little color. So I'm going to use this one right here. This is the one that has a little bit of a shimmer to it. It's very, very subtle. I really don't think it's going to give me a shimmer on my skin, but I just want to test this color out. And I'm going to use it more for a bronzer versus like a contour powder. And the color, or sorry, the brush I'm going to use is my Sedona Lace 910 brush. So what I'm gonna do is just lightly load up my brush because I noticed with this product a little goes a long way. So my brush is loaded and I'm just gonna put this on the temples on either side. You can do a little bit on the top of your forehead if you feel like your forehead is larger and you just want to make it look smaller. So just dusting a little bit of the bronzer on the top of your forehead really helps. And then I'm just going to use a tiny bit and put it right here in the hollows of my cheeks. I usually like layering colors in the hollows of my cheeks, so I'm just going to use this first. So I'm just going to do kind of a light wash in my cheek area, and then later I'll go back and define it. And do the same on the other side. So as you can see, a little goes a long way, so you just really want to be light-handed with this powder and just really buff it out. You can also do at your jawline if you want your jawline to be more defined. And you can do down the sides of your neck too. For the hollows of my cheeks, I'm going to use something that has more of a cooler brown tone to it, or a taupey color. So I'm going to use this one that comes in the palette, and I'm just going to use a smaller angled brush, and this is the Sedona Lace 850 brush. So I like to just load up kind of the side of my brush, not necessarily right on the top. And I'm just going to stick this in my hollow. Since I don't really have a hollow, we're going to say I have a hollow. And I'm just going to put it right there and lightly kind of buff this out. And you want to be super light-handed with this product. You don't need a lot or else it's going to be too harsh, unless that's kind of the look you're going for. And blend, blend, blend is the key. Now I'm going to do the same on the other side. So another area that people, where people contour is their nose area. I hate contouring my nose area just because I don't like my nose, and even if I try to contour it, I feel like it makes it look way worse. But I'm gonna do it just for the sake of this video so you guys know how to contour your nose area. So I'm gonna use this color right here, which I haven't used yet. It's a little bit lighter than this one, so I'm just going to use an eyeshadow brush because you want to use something that's really small. This is the EB09 brush from Sedona Lace. So I'm just going to load up the side of my brush in this color. Again, just the tiniest bit because this brush picks up a lot of product, because I feel like the product is really pigmented and loose, so you can get a lot with just a few taps. So what I'm going to do is start just right at the side of my nose and start creating just a line down the side. I don't know if you can see that in the video. I'm gonna go straight down. I'm gonna go underneath my nose area. And it looks crazy at first, but we will be blending it out after. Gonna do the same on the other side. And then you could bring it up to where your brow is too. So it just makes the, I guess, bridge of your nose more narrow. So that is where you can contour your nose area, but you want to blend it out. Obviously, I'm not going to leave it like this. So you can either take your finger, which I think is probably the best tool, or you could take a brush and just kind of soften that line. And then if you want, you might have to add more of that lighter shade on the top of your nose, which I'm probably gonna do, but that will kind of give you the idea of how you can shape your nose. Anyway, I'm gonna move on to highlighting, which is my favorite thing to do because I just like that glow that a highlighter gives your skin. It just kind of gives you that J.Lo, dewy, hydrated, beautiful glow to your skin. So I'm gonna use this one that's on the very end. So this is the warmer highlighter out of the two. So if you're more on the fair side, then I would probably use this one. But if you're medium to dark, then I would use this color. So I'm gonna take this brush. It's one of my favorite brushes for highlighting right now. This is the Sedona Lace 313 brush. I just like that it's a really small shape. It's great for setting under the eye area, and it's also great for just tapping right on the tops of your cheekbones. So I'm gonna take that warmer highlighter, load up my brush, and I'm just gonna put this right on the tops of my cheekbones. As you can see already, it gives the prettiest glow to the skin. It's actually a very bright highlight, brighter than I thought, but I really like it. And I'm gonna do the same on the other side. And you can use as much or as little product as you want. You don't have to have this strong as a highlight, just use less product, but I don't mind a strong highlight. Kind of depends on the occasion. And then I also like to highlight right on my Cupid's bow just to make my lips look fuller. And normally I just use my finger for this. So just dust it right on your Cupid's bow and kind of those areas where you have that line. So like when the light hits it, it just gives a pretty glow. This is optional, you don't have to do it. But I like my lips to look fuller. And then I also kind of highlight the sides of my nose. I don't know why, it looks good in pictures. You don't have to do that, but I like to. And then if you want, you can also do just a tiny bit right at your temples on either side. Just a little. So when the light is hitting you in this direction, you have a glow here, here, side of your nose, and the top of your lip, which I think is really pretty. So that is kind of where I highlight. You can also highlight right under your brow bone too, and also around your tear ducts. Just for this video, I'm gonna put some lip gloss back on. And this is just kind of my favorite, like, day off gloss where you just want a little sheen and it feels good on your lips. And if you're wondering, this is a new color that Buxom came out with, and this is the Buxom full-on lip cream in Hot Toddy. So I like this just to throw on if you want a little gloss. So that's what I'm doing for the lips. Alright, so that was my kind of quick-ish demo using this palette if you want to know how to highlight, contour, or just bronze up your skin. So in the end, I do really like this palette. It's probably a palette I'll be using a lot on myself, in tutorials, on clients. So this is definitely a palette that I recommend. So a few things that I noticed with this palette: a little goes a long way. You can actually pick up a lot of product from these pans. So just be very light-handed when you're putting this product on your face, or you're gonna get a little too much going on your skin. So that's just one recommendation from me. So overall, I recommend this palette. It's an awesome palette for only 25 bucks. So yeah. So I hope you guys liked this video. I will be doing another video on another palette that you guys requested, and I will be posting that one probably soon, just so you guys can compare back to back which palette you like better. One's gonna be more of a high end. This one, I guess, I hate calling products low end. It's more about how much they cost, not necessarily that the quality is lower. So anyway, I hope you learned a few things, and thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.